All right, and good morning and welcome back. Let me check my YouTube audio. Does it look good? Looks good. What's up? What's up? As usual, be careful. Remember the disclaimer here if you're newer to the channel, if you're newer to the market. Day trading, trading stocks, investing, it's all risky business. You got to be careful. You got to manage risk. Other than that, just keep in mind that there have been some fake accounts, and people also do from time to time steal the content here, they copy it, and they try to run ads with it. So be very careful on YouTube and other social media platforms if you happen to spot a fake ad, whether it's for crypto or sometimes they do ads for like WhatsApp and Telegram and all these other like crazy platforms. So be careful there. Just a heads up. Yeah, so checking out the scanners. We got CHNR leading the way here, up 57%. Good amount of volume, 27 million shares. The float is less than 1 million, which is exactly what we love to see here. CHNR looking like it could be something as we're holding up around the VWAP area here. Maybe we can see that uptrend and that push for a test and maybe even a breakout of the pre-market high. That would be lovely. Currently, we're below the VWAP. There is some resistance at the $0.50 as well, based off of where we've been consolidating and bouncing. Support, at least the low of the last pullback has been around sub 5, 480s, 470s. So CHNR, we'll see if it's able to do something here. So far, the leading stock. We also have SER. This one started off in after hours, pushed up here today as well. Yesterday's high 209, so a bit of a double top, and currently holding above the VWAP. So this one also looks good to potentially, curl over 210 and give that breakout. For me, I love to trade stocks that are uptrending. I find that that's where I usually do the best. Consolidations can be good too, but you got to be extremely careful. If you don't get those support levels perfectly, you can get caught buying and selling lower and, trying to buy back, and you got to be careful. Let's see, SER, someone saying on the YouTube chat that it was a little thickly traded. 7 million share float. We'll see if the open changes that, if the volume maybe from the open can, make it a little bit more volatile. If not, it could still be fine if we're seeing great setups, right? If the candlesticks are there, we're seeing great patterns, we can position ourselves, hold a little longer. We don't really mind that. It just comes down to us seeing, follow through. So then there's also SUNE coming down on the list, 43%. Fair amount of volume as well. Float less than 10 million. Looks good. Looks okay. I guess into the open we'll have to see which one kind of holds up and goes first, but looks decent for cheaper stocks here coming down some more. We got MOBX. Let's see, MOBX. By the way, what I need to do is put some of these SUNE. MOBX also looks okay. Curling up. Most of these stocks are going to be curling up off the lows. That's typically what we've been seeing here. By the way, SPY tanking, right? I guess after hearing Powell may be a little bit more hawkish, as they say. But you know, what did we really expect, right? Honestly, with the conflict overseas and oil going up, more inflation, markets are going to go down, which means it's going to be a good opportunity to buy strong companies at a discount for me. I'm probably not going to stream till 11 for sure, right? Because I'm going to be switching over to large caps and buying the dip. Not financial advice, personal advice for myself. Anyhow, let's not get distracted, right? MOBX looks okay. It's a 60 cents. Could definitely be, one of the hotter stocks. On most of these, on a 5-minute MACD may have turned, but for me, it's not the ultimate factor. If we're seeing a good red 3 and volume is coming in, like this one right here could start to see something here, right? It could be worth a shot. And if we do see something, I'm looking forward to being aggressive early. But at the same time, looking to manage risk. More size doesn't mean like holding losing trades longer and things like that, right? You still have to treat the trades the exact same. So CHNR, I think, SER, CHNR, I'll have those two up and I'll rotate to the others depending on what's going on. Honestly, SER, let's see, SER, I'll put this one on the main screen. CHNR, put that over there. I'm actually going to put up MOBX as the second string. Today I can read the future, brother. Today is nice green. CHNR, SUNE, and MOBX. Time? What time is it? 23. This thing is moving. I probably got to take some early trades here. Let me go to single screen and I'll be ready to go. We got 217 here. For SER. Highs are at 18. Oh, nice. So for those of you tuning in on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. We got another beautiful day, another chance to be disciplined, another chance to compound on everything we've been working on and try to be slightly better every day. We got 5 minutes to the open bell. 5 minutes. Five minutes to the open bell. 5 minutes. It's less volatile as mentioned. We got a double top at 18. There's a small seller here, 12, 50,000. Three minutes to the opening bell. Hopefully that GIF makes sense. GCDT hitting the scans. Doesn't look like much. The VWAP on this one is at 190. We're pulling back a bit. Yeah, it's kind of the GIF is kind of small. I should have found a better one, but it's the High School Musical "Stick to the Stuff You Know" song. No mirror trading, no copy trading. It doesn't exist. Here in the community, we teach people how to fish, right? Now the students are fishing and fishing well, I might say. Not everyone has been able to make it to the other side, but there's still a lot of people who are working, and for those who have already, they're showing some good results. I want to see if we get like more volume here into the open. Only 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Oh, I didn't get filled. I canceled and I still got filled. What's going on? I see. So SER so far a little active here to start. We got 242 highs here. So far, it's holding up. The question is, can we continue on the uptrend without seeing the Christmas tree early? If we can get a steady couple of green candles here, we could be on to something. We got highs at 42. My fills are not the best fills. Bro, my level 2, like, it needs to, like, hold up. My level 2, like, once there's a drop, like, all the liquidity, it's showing that it's gone, and then it's coming back. It's kind of, like, throwing me off a little bit. Level 2 needs to step up its game, or maybe I need to pay for more depth. Again, the key here is to not get the Christmas tree. Can we hold up and curl up? A strong stock here goes to 40, 45, 50. Is this a strong stock? SER. Are the bulls here today? We got 37 or so, and we're back down. Not ideal. Does it hold higher here for a higher low? That could be good. And then a retest, but if not, we got to be careful of a full retracement back down near the low 20s and maybe even a breakdown. So the 1 minute candle to make a new high did good, but we're back down here. We did close pretty bullish in that candlestick. So I'm willing to get back in if we hold high here. Over 32, I'm definitely gonna add if volume is printing in for a retest of 40. Can we see it? Tight stops here in this area just in case it Titanics. Aiming for a higher low off of 20. Ooh. We got 25 right there. I'm not getting the fills I want, so I got to be very careful here. I'm just going to be losing on slippage pretty much. Son of a gun. Looks like it's done. So we're gonna get a Christmas tree there. In the short term, CHNR switching over. CHNR pre-market highs. Oh, we're above the pre-market high. No, we're not. Okay, that's 660. High of the current candle. Oh my goodness. Bro, my level 2 is making it so hard to tell what's happening. It looks like it's just selling off. Oh, come on. So it looks like we're gonna see a Christmas tree here. Bro, I can't use this. I'll have to pay for another one. This wasn't happening yesterday. Again, if there's any selling on the bids, like it just shows the haul down. Like it doesn't show any price points. This is too misleading here for me to tell. So we're gonna give back profits there. Again, the Christmas tree is the #1 thing. We're like, you know, it's the #1 enemy here, if you want to say. Our 5-minute candlestick was very bullish for above VWAP. Looked good. It's just, you know, 580 to $5. So switching to the next one here and rotating. Let's see. SUNE, CHNR, SER. SER, of course, is you know still interesting in this area here. I'm watching SER again. Everything else seems like a little weak. Tough that we gave back the entire move to curl back up, but you know, better than nothing. So it tells me maybe this is gonna be the one, and the others are just, you know, noise. So unless this like makes a new low for below $2, I'll just keep watching it. SER, the one. The one and only. I didn't take size down there, so that was a bit of an issue. What I'll do is like I'll look at my tape anytime there's like a big drop. I think that'll at least substitute for the nonsense of this level 2. Mm-mm. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Okay, maybe that's a little too much. So watching here, we had previous support in this area. If not, it's 208 again. It'll be good if we hold high. I mean, if we pull back to 208, you know, we're getting another full retracement down there. Would be kind of tough. I don't know if the stock could be able to sustain that again. Although it is still pretty early in the day, right? The goal is, of course, to slowly grind back up to 240 and then potentially make a new high. Slow grind to 240. Will we see a slow grind to 240 and get the 5-minute candlestick to make the new high? Watching and waiting. Will it reclaim? If not, we might see 210. We got to see 22, 23, 24. If not, she could be cooked. There's 24. Does have what it takes. 25? Do I hear 27, 28? There's a new 5-minute candlestick coming in the next couple of seconds. Doesn't look like it. So maybe we see 210. It's still fighting here, though. Low of that candlestick was 15. Sidelines for me until further notice. Good first move. Since then, we haven't gotten anything. It's been like 20 minutes already. I'm thinking if I should probably wait for overhigh of day if it gets there. A little too much chop for my liking. Oh, damn. Um, Spy 658. Yeah, I'm staying on the sidelines for now. I thought this one would have been able to give something here early, but it seems like it's kind of like dying out. We had a good first move, but then that full retracement back down to like 210 was, a bit of a stain, but it worked its way back up 230s. Not able to get over that high of 40 to continue. So we're over the pre-market highs, but still a big flag here that might need another 20, 30, 40 minutes. Once the once America is able to get a deal with Iran, the market should be up in terms of like large cap stuff. We should see a nice big boost. To make money on a day like this is like this is probably like the type of crazy trade you got to take, right? Like loading massive size into a double bottom VWAP dip. Meaning that it's a weaker day, I'm not using any size, not on a stock like this, but it's so unorthodox that that's probably the madness that would work, right? So the past store is on the sidelines here, pretty much. Sidelines, sidelines. SWMR at $50. I'm not sure if anybody's watching at that one, but it is pushing up a little bit. Honestly, I'm rooting for there to not be a deal anytime soon because stocks are going to go lower, which means I get to buy. I get to buy this sweet dip. Yeah, I think WETO, I don't know. But the longer this goes on, the more stocks will go down, like large cap stocks. And I'll be buying all the strong companies for cheap. WETO has, let me pull it up here. It has some movements, but it seems like it's carrying a good amount of risk as well. What I don't like is the 5 minute candlestick that just closed. It's like a big bearish engulfing red candlestick. Highs were all the way at 102. Like a setup like this right here, is it worth it for break of 88, 87? It does show that there's some like technicality to like NATO, right? They're saying like, hey, the US kind of like provoked this attack in a sense, or let's say initiated it without, any formal meeting. So people are refusing to help other countries. But it goes to show you that like, even with like NATO, I guess there needs to be some sort of formality, right? Some sort of process for you to be able to receive help. Granted that of course here they don't need any help, but it's just kind of interesting to see. It seems like it was more of a move to like just put pressure on Iran, like, hey, every country's asking you to do X, Y, and Z versus just one. Again, WETO, you know, moving up, a little risk here, but fighting. I would love to see it get halted up at 1. I think that's where I could start to gain some interest if it does halt up at the highs. But yeah, the longer this goes on, like the way how I think about it, you know, the longer this goes on, the lower stocks are going to go, right? Due to the concerns of inflation and then that leading to a potential recession. Job numbers aren't really great. Nobody really wants a recession, but you know, if you're young and you're trying to just buy stocks low, I mean, shoots. If you're looking to retire and you know you don't want the market to go down, you know, you're on the other side of the coin. But the bigger the dips we get, the better it is. So here's a push to 1 right here, 96. Halt is now 103 though. It's like this is our stock. Like it just, you know, tell you up 126%. Probably a garbage company. Fly into a halt up. CHNR sold off. SCR at 212. SUNE sold off. WETO seems to be the most promising, and it just you know doesn't really look. I don't think it looks that good, but there's opportunities for sure. Where is the momentum from the last 2 3 days? This is nothing here. Gone are the days where the overall market didn't affect the small caps. In hindsight, you know, if I would have known, um, SER would have only been one and done. I wouldn't have even attempted the pullback trades. CHNR got burned pretty bad trying to take the 5-minute pullback there, or not even really a 5-minute pullback, the 1-minute pullback. That one ended up going from 5. I mean, like, look at this candlestick, right? This thing went from 580. I started buying the dip sub 50, 48, 37, thinking, hey, I'm taking on a good trade here. Starting off with smaller size into those trades. Heck, even if we get low 30s, high 20s, I can add, 2 more times, go up to like 1,500. I'm using smaller size, right? Could go up to like 1,500 shares, 2K shares, and have a nice position right into the lows. This thing goes down to $5. The lows were at 501, and it's now at 440. So I missed the entire front side move. Tried taking the bigger pullback, got cooked, Christmas tree style. And, good thing I cut the loss because it's now at 439. Just not a good one. And it did get over the VWAP. It was looking fairly good. We had resistance at 550 in pre-market. We pushed through that level, 580. Just a brutal one. For me, again, some people are really good at trading this right here, right? Like, we got that low at 5. Some people love these trades. Like, we kind of go from 5 to 516. I despise these trades here, but some people love them, right? You can make money in this consolidation here. We bounced a good 6, 7 times before it really sold off, which would have been, this has been a lot of what the last like 7, 8 months have been. Once the front side, like, you might get a little bit of something, but once that's done, it's just been this. So, WETO, I think maybe it's a good time to just switch over to large cap stuff and say goodbye to small caps here, maybe till later. Maybe one day I just share my large cap stuff. I mean, I talk a little bit about it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but maybe there's like a 1% chance, right? It's not like 0, but very low chance. But talking about it a little bit, I don't think it's too bad. Yep, I think this might be it. As usual, for those of you who want to continue the conversation, you can check us out in the chat room. I can post the link here for the chat room for those of you who might want to join. But I think this is the end of the stream. There is nothing to trade. And it is time to buy the dip slowly for me on some companies that I like. WETO is back to 82 cents. Again, pretty volatile one. Is there a couple of traders in the chat room up 1K on this thing? I would say so. Trading futures. Nothing is ever off the table. That's what I'll say. Yeah, we had three really good days intraday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, but today not so much. Pre-market, man, I don't know what it is with pre-market and me. Like I have some nice days, and then it's like just some other times it's like just the complete opposite, right? I haven't really been able to see like any great levels of consistency in pre-market. Some people are doing well though. Today, by the way, today I used the most size I did all week. Sadly, it's the day where nothing happened, right? I felt pretty good after those last 3 days. Yesterday I spoke a little bit about, you know, I don't mind sizing up if we can see hotter moves, like a first, second leg kind of thing. I mean, again, if I see that type of momentum, it's automatic. Like I know exactly what I need to do to be green. But when we have the washout early, I'll get caught a lot of the times, right? Because on the strong days, those are always the dips that are holding up nicely, right? So today I came in with a little bit more size, and we did manage risk fairly well. Just didn't get anything strong to continue. We had some good trades. Also, I think my biggest position was like 5,000 shares. Putting out the shares didn't feel like anything. Um, it just really comes down to seeing good action, you know, good familiar momentum, and if you're consistent with that, then it becomes easier to size. But for me, if I'm not seeing anything good, then it's like sizing for me doesn't. I don't even consider it, right? What I do need to do a better job at though is when like on a given day, like once the first move or two does work, I think in those instances is where I have to do a better job at sizing. Like despite being in like a overall slower market, there are those sprinkles of days, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week where you see something good. And on those days I gotta be more aggressive for sure. But yeah, shutting it down, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow around 9, 10 a.m. 9, 10 a.m. I'm still pretty flat on the month. Someone's asking about the month. It's been like a flat month. Let's see. Sadly, I keep making this mistake, or I wouldn't even call it a mistake, but I don't always import to um from the commission brokers. It seemed like once you don't upload that same day, I haven't figured out a way. Like if anybody knows, that would be lovely. Actually, if anybody knows how to like properly import every metric from you know like the DAS platform, like anything from prior days, right? I have Sage, I have Guardian connected to those to DAS. But if you don't upload the metrics that same day, like you can get the files easily, but like formatting it in a way to where it can work in like our own software or TraderView, it's kind of, I'm not sure how to get it done. Let's see. Performance. Custom first to the 19th. So this has been the month on Webull where I have the calendar. Oh shit. Hold up. Let's let's see. Here, let's just minimize this for now. There we go. Yeah, so this has been Webull. I'm trying to like think like if I had any like bigger red days. I think like in the other account because we've been using smaller size for the most part, like we haven't had like huge red days. Like but there's a day like today down 200. I think we might have had a $300 red day as well at some point. And I think everything else has been like maybe plus or minus $100. So I've been sticking to small size. Yeah, yeah. Exporting daily is obviously the right thing to do, but I'm not gonna lie. There's some days like so when I'm done here, there's days where I just go straight into the large cap stuff, and then it's like I kind of forget. You know, it's like the next day, and it's like shit. Then import. Every year, like over the last like 7 years, I'd never imported daily. Like I usually import at the end of the month all the time. And a lot of that is because on a given day, like it's very easy to tell what transpired, right? Like let's say today, okay, what happened today, right? Today we came in, we had a good first move. You know, we had 3 good days, like hotter days before this, so we were anticipating some follow through. We were aggressive. We went green to red. You know, I think green 300. We ended up going. We're ending the day here red $217. So it's like for me to import this day, it's like there's nothing to really gain. You know, in terms of like what to do differently or what to do better. Which is why, you know, unless there's just like something really interesting about the day, I was never into like importing daily. Like the recap of like the days, like for me, what you know, what I could do better or what I could do differently. That's why I never really imported daily in like the past. There's definitely a way to do it. Like it's just, you know, I just can't figure it out. So I honestly would hope maybe I have to ask on Twitter, right? Probably asking on Twitter might be good because there's definitely people on Twitter who are utilizing DAS that, you know, has a way. There has to be a way. There has to be a way. So today actually so I used the biggest size I used all month. We've had some good days though with smaller size. We've had a few days though where we did take some losses. Like this big red day here on the 12th. I believe this was the ROMA day where we, you know, we're pretty much flat on the day over the two accounts, and then we get caught into like a massive halt down buying the dip. You know, even with small size, we get caught in the halt down and then resumes lower. There's days like this where even with small size, you can get, you know, you can get cooked. You can get minced up. You know, when it comes to size, like again, you know, I can size up overnight, but it just really comes down to seeing consistent uptrending stocks. I don't want to be taking too much size if I'm not seeing that, you know, regularly. But again, in the context of the colder market, got to do a better job on those individual days. You know, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, where you do get something hot, even though you're not expecting like a good day really from the market. Those days I gotta like do a better job at sizing up, right? That's honestly, as we know over the years, like a few days in a month, like it could even be just like 3 or 4 days in a month, could be your month, right? Your entire month. And I think Monday, Tuesday of this week is a good example of days where, hey, like it's looking good, you push for it right away, and on those days you lock in a nice day, and then you kind of take it by ear, play it by ear the next day. If nothing is there, you don't take any size. You be very careful not to give back, and kind of watch yourself as you go. But with size, everything is exponential. What is a $200 day can become 1600. What is and both ways, right? What is a $800 loss could be triple, quadruple if you're not careful, right? Like if you're reading the temperature of the market wrong and you happen to go into certain trades with size, you can get caught pretty easily. So in the moment when it's really hot, pushing it is key. And then on the slower days where we're not seeing much, days like today, you don't try to like fight against the market, shutting it down early and just waiting for the next day or later in the day, maybe power hour, we see something maybe after lunch is the better way to go. But yeah, shutting it down. $200 EMA, shorter time frames for support. Uh, let's see. Commercials are more frequent now. The commercials should be the same as it always was. It's been years since I like looked at the commercial thing. Maybe YouTube is just putting more commercials. Yeah, sadly, CHNR, by the time I got to that one, it was already backside. Sure. Some people just be saying anything, bro. Like, come on. See, you have to practice what you preach. And I think like, for anybody who's not as consistent as you would want to be, utilizing massive size, you have to be very careful, right? Because you can get yourself in trouble. For me, I don't care about how it looks. What I care about is doing the right thing, which is why it's also easy to show up here every day, right? Like I could have easily stopped live streaming years ago or months ago or never, show up at all. But it's easy for me to show up because I know what I'm doing is the right thing to do, right? So, despite any crazy jokes, doing the right thing in terms of your rules, in terms of trading, is ultimately what will give you that longevity to be in that better place, right? There's a lot of people in these situations that can easily blow up their accounts. They can easily like blow through money and like give back years of progress. I mean, it can happen easily too, right? It's not that like you're undisciplined or anything, but there's a collection of things that can come into play that can really get the better of you, even though you're trying your best. So for me, again, I keep saying this, like the amount that I've been down like the last years is pretty much the equivalent to one good green day in a hotter market, you know? So for everyone who's here for like the right reasons to like have a long career in trading, to pace yourself, to understand it's a marathon and never the 100-meter Usain Bolt dash, you know, you have to make sure that through the highs, through the lows, the middle, the in-betweens, that you keep a level mind when it comes to staying disciplined and not falling victim to, let's say FOMO, right? because FOMO, the fear of missing out, and wanting to make more, you know, warrior trading has a good saying, right? Which is to trade the market that you're in, not the market you want to be in. And so you got to be very careful not to overdo it in the wrong environment. But yeah, so a bit of a rant right there, the old school rant. I'm about to switch over to some large cap stuff. Catch you guys tomorrow. Pastor heading out. By the way, hit the thumbs up on the way out and subscribe to the channel if you're new.